All right, boys and girls, today we're going to revisit our poem that we read yesterday, The Little Plant. And as we read it today, I want you to think about what the seed needed in order for it to grow, okay?
In the heart of a seed buried deep, so deep.
A dear little plant lay fast asleep.
A dear little plant lay fast asleep.
Wake, said the sunshine, and creep to the light.
Wake, said the sunshine, and leap to the light.
Wake, said the voice of the raindrops bright.
Wake, said the voice of the raindrops bright.
The little plant heard, and it rose to see.
The little plant heard, and it rose to see.
What a wonderful outside world might be.
What a wonderful outside world might be.
Good job, boys and girls. So, raise your hand if you can tell me, what is this poem describing to us? What do you think, Kinsey?
It's telling us about a plant.
Okay, can anybody add to what she's saying?
Oh.
What about a plant, Knox?
Where a plant is, he got very deep, so deep.
It's very content focused, and it's what am I building to? It's how am I setting children up to be successful for my end goal? How am I building on what I taught yesterday? And so the instruction has become much more laser focused because of those content goals.
So raise your hand if you can tell me something you or your partner were saying about why a plant needs raindrops to grow. Kinley.
Because it needs water and it needs sun.
It needs water and it needs sun. Can anybody add to what she's saying about why it needs water? Luke?
Because it needs sun and water to grow.
Okay, why does it need water to grow? Knox?
Because if it didn't have water, just like us, it would die because it's like their nutrients for them to grow.
So a seed needs, or a plant needs water to grow so that it can keep living, right? All right. Great answer, Knox. I noticed that you used one of our vocabulary words, nutrients. Did you guys notice that she used that word?
Yeah.
Yes, she said that the plant needed water and nutrients in order for it to grow. So, boys and girls, as we read this poem today, I noticed that there were several words that had more than one part in them, or a syllable. Raise your hand if you can tell me what a syllable is. Hunter?
It's a word part in the word.
A word part that's inside a word. Is he thumbs up or thumbs down? Do you disagree or agree with what he said? It is. He's exactly right. So every time your jaw moves down, that counts as one syllable. That shows you one word part. Okay? So, sunshine. My jaw moved down 2 times. So the word sunshine has 2 syllables in it. Another way we can do it is by clapping it out. Okay? So every time I hear a word part, I clap. So sunshine. Still 2 syllables, isn't it?
Yep.
Now the last way that we're going to show how to tell syllables in a word is by using our sound boxes. And every time I hear a word part or a syllable, I'm going to move up my magnet to show that I heard that word part. So we're going to use our same process of say it, feel it, clap it, and push it. Okay? Are you ready? All right, say the word. Asleep.
Asleep.
How many syllables did you get from that?
2.
2. Did we all get 2?
Yes.
I agree with you. Now let's feel it. So put your hand under your chin. Now, ready? Everyone ready? Asleep. How many syllables did you get?
2.
2. You are correct. There are 2 word parts in asleep. Now let's try clapping it out. Ready? Asleep. How many syllables did you get that time? 2. Okay, the last thing we're going to do is push it. Okay? Ready? Asleep. You got 2 syllables? So there are how many syllables in the word asleep? 2. Okay. you are going to use the same process that we used at the carpet to break apart your word and see how many syllables are in your word. So you're going to say it, feel it, clap it, and then you're going to use your little tokens here to push it into your sound boxes. Okay? Turtle. Okay? Can you show me how to say it, feel it, clap it, and push it to show me how many syllables there are? Okay, show me. Can you say it? How many syllables did you count? 2. Can you feel it?
Well, I
Very good. Can you clap it?
It has no roots.
Show me how to clap it, the word turtle. Okay, can you push it? So how many syllables does the word turtle have? 2. Okay, I want you guys to share with each other your word card and how many syllables you each decided the word has, okay? What is this a picture of? A book. Raise your hand if you worked with a partner using this picture card. Okay, Hunter, Savannah, Athelia, can you come up here, please? Okay. Just come stand right. Savannah, can you stand over there? All right, so we're going to work, you guys are going to work together to say it, feel it, clap it, and push it to figure out how many syllables this word has. Okay, so what is this word one more time?
Book.
Book. All right, so go ahead. Say it.
Book.
Feel it.
Book.
Clap it.
Book.
And now we're going to watch Athelia. She's going to show us how to push it. Okay, could you show us?
Book.
Okay, so how many syllables did we decide the word book has in it? 1 syllable. Kiss your brain. You may go have a seat. Think about the cards that you visited and that you saw at your tables. I want you to turn and talk to a partner in just a second about how you figured out how many syllables each of your cards had and if they were different or if they were the same. Okay? Turn and talk, please.
Okay.
The foundational skills instruction in the past have been set aside as something you teach your foundational skills. Okay, now that's that lesson and let's move on. I feel like these unit starters have helped teachers to include foundational skills in your reading, in your writing, and immediately give the application of, okay, this is the foundational skill we're learning, such as syllables. Now let's read words in our text that have these syllables in it. And then when we write, we're going to think about how many syllables are in the word that we're writing. Boys and girls, we're going to choral read our poem real quick. Okay, can we do that?
Yeah.
All right. Ready? Eyes up here. Read.
The little plant in the heart of a seed, buried deep, so deep. A dear little plant lay fast asleep. Wake, said the sunshine, and leap to the light. Wake, said the voice of the raindrops bright. The little plant heard and rose to see what a wonderful outside world might be.
Right. So what words, I want you to turn and talk to your partner about what words might you use in the poem to help us write a sentence about, listen. Turn to your partner and I want you to talk about what words in the poem could you use to make a sentence about how the seed grows. Okay, go. The rain, I heard that word. And the sunshine. Very good. Oh, heard another one. Bailey, what word did you use from our poem that we could use in a sentence to show what happened to the seed after it was outside?
Sunshine.
She said the word sunshine. Do you think that that's a good word for us to use in our sentence?
Yes.
I think we could use that word, sunshine, to write a sentence about what happened to that seed. Now, we're going to use some of our words from the poem to help finish our sentence. Savannah, what could we say next? The seed needs what?
Raindrops and sunlight.
The seed needs raindrops And what else?
Sunlight.
Sunlight. Let's look at our poem. The seed needs sun. What comes next? S-H. To make that sh sound. Okay. What word do we have left that we haven't used from our poem, Hunter?
Outside.
Outside. So turn and talk to your partner for just a second about how we could add the word outside to our sentence. You're thinking what word should go after raindrops? Outside. So you think outside should go here. Could you read what the sentence would say if you added outside right there?
The seed needs sunshine and raindrops outside
Okay, what do you guys think? Oh, is that what did you say?
to grow.
Should we add to grow?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so to. Who knows how to spell the word to? Kinley, how do you spell the word to?
It's T-O.
T-O. Boys and girls, we're going to now move to our interactive read aloud. And this text connects back to our poem and our shared writing that we did earlier. And the title of this text is called The Living Sunlight, How Plants Bring the Earth to Life. And as we read this text today, I want us to focus on what the author is saying and what the illustrations show us about how sunlight helps plants, but also how it helps animals and people. Listen to me. Do this one thing. Lay your hand over your heart and feel. Feel your heart pump, pump, pump. Feel how warm you are. That is my light alive inside of you. I am your sun, your golden star. I burn. My light energy explodes in all directions. Most fades into endless space. But some tiny, tiny part of my light falls on your small planet, Earth. Who is telling this story? Lucas?
The sun.
The sun is telling this story, isn't he? What do you think the tiny yellow dots in this picture represent?
I think they represent the sunlight.
She says she thinks that they represent the sunlight. Do you think that she's right?
No.
You don't think some people do, some people
Hear what
doesn't?
I said?
Why do you think it doesn't represent the sunlight?
Because I think it represents all of the heat falling down from the sun onto Earth and falling down onto everything in the world in Earth.
So I noticed that he said that he thinks it represents heat. What does the sun provide us with?
Heat.
Heat. So could they both be right?
Yes.
Yes, they can. All right, hands down. Life keeps circling around. It circles around and round on your planet Earth through photosynthesis and through yourselves. You share a life with everything alive. So I'm going to stop for a second and let's look at those little yellow dots. What did we say those little yellow dots represented? Savannah?
A sun.
The sunlight and how it spreads through everything, right? How do they get sunlight, Kinsey?
Because the sunlight comes down and it lands on them, and then it goes into their fruits and their leaves and the roots.
So the plants use sunlight. They take it into their leaves and their fruits, and they use it to make sugar, right?
Yeah.
So how do we as people use sunlight, or how do we get sunlight? Bailey?
From plants.
How do we get sunlight from plants?
Because we eat plants, and then we get the sun's energy because the plants have the energy of the sun. So we eat plants to get the sun's energy.
What about animals? How do they get the sun's energy? Anybody? Lucas?
By eating fruit like humans.
By eating food and fruit like humans. I want you to turn and talk to your partner about how you think plants, animals, and people get sunlight.
I think plants get sunlight by
read this text, we discovered how the sun's energy helped plants, humans, and animals grow. Earlier in our unit, we also read this book, What's Alive? And we created this chart, and we discovered how a daisy, which is a plant, gets its energy from the sun. And write a sentence and draw a picture about how a plant, an animal, and people, or humans, get energy from the sun. You have a flap for animals, and you have one for humans. I want you to draw a picture of how a plant gets the sun's energy. Then, everybody look. When you open it, write a sentence telling me about how a plant gets the sun's energy. Then you're going to swap to animals. Draw a picture on the outside of how animals get the sun's energy. Open it, write a complete sentence about how animals get the sun's energy. And then do the same thing for humans. As you're working on your task, I want you to think back to our chart that we made and shared writing. And as you're writing your sentence, I want you to remember that we always start with a capital letter. We always need what between our words? Finger spaces. I want you to lay your finger down and make that finger space between your words, okay? Also, when you're sounding out words, remember we use our tap it out and blend it to figure out what sounds and we hear and what letters go with those sounds when we write.
And
what does the sun give them to make for their bodies?
Even plants. I do humans.
What's that?
Okay, then you go last. Humans, they get their energy by the same stuff as animals. They eat fruits and vegetables. Okay, look at me.
And how do they do that? Do animals have beaks? So do animals get energy by eating plants? So maybe draw a picture. I think that implementing these units have helped me bring in more skills to my small groups. Not just focus on one skill every time I meet with a small group. I'm seeing how many things I can get practice on within this small group meeting. Go ahead, all of you at once. Show me.
Cow.
Okay. So, these two friends said cow. Now, Allie, you said cow. Now, when you say that word, try it one more time. Let's use the feel it. Say cow. How many times did your jaw move down?
One.
So how many syllables does the word cow have?
One.
Okay. Now this time, I want you to try to read more of this by yourself, okay? So you're going to use your trackers and you're going to read. We saw this phrase earlier, so let's see if we can remember this phrase. Ready? Read. Ah, very good. I heard Kane. And say it one more time.
I will win.
And he rolled in it. Now, did the cow roll?
No. It jumped in it.
The cow jumped. So Cain said, and he rolled in it. How did you know that this was not the same word as the other page with the cow?
Because it went.
How is it different? How did you know?
Because I know it.
Let's see. Does anybody have any other ideas? Look at the picture. How else could Cain know that maybe this word wasn't jumped? Because in the illustration, the pig is rolling. So can we use pictures sometimes to help us figure out how to say a word? What was happening in this story? Who can tell me what was happening in this story?
Wishy-washy.
What about Mrs. Wishy-Washy?
She was washing the animals.
Let's let Hallie talk.
She was washing the animals.
She was washing the animals, wasn't she? Why do you think that she was doing that, Ophelia?
Because They need to be clean.
They needed to be clean. Did you find anything that's living?
A people.
Hold on, let's let Allie get one. What is that? A cow. So, Allie, why is a cow a living thing?
Because it drinks and it gets air.
It drinks and it gets air. What else does a living thing do? It eats. So, if you're a living
It
thing,
gets energy.
it does get energy.
And it gets air.
Yes. So, if you're a living thing, you need air,
Water and
water,
food.
and food.
So it's not just about engagement in the classroom, but it's also that sparking of curiosity as they enter their world and as they begin to look around them and see how their learning is applicable to their lives.